right, hello everyone. And this week we're doing the last week of Black History Month for 2021, and we are going to draw a picture of Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges is a very important historical figure in our history. As just a little girl, 6 years old, she was so brave and so strong to be the first African American child to walk into an elementary school in New Orleans, and she went in there on her own with I believe they were marshals. And even though she was just in a very scary, sad, horrible situation, she was so brave and she was so strong and went into that school each and every day and got the education that she deserved to get. And she's so inspirational. I would love to learn even more about her, but every time I learn a little bit about her, I'm more and more amazed. So if you're not familiar with Ruby Bridges, I strongly encourage you to learn more about her. There's a book called The Story of Ruby Bridges, and it is so moving, and it's a really great book. I'm also including a link to a video about Ruby Bridges on my website. It'll look like a little video kind of clapboard thing, so if you want to watch that too, and then we'll talk about her a little bit while we're working on the picture. But we are going to draw her, Sharpie her, and color her. We're going to do it one step at a time like we always do. On mine I used Sharpie, pencil, and Prismacolors. Prismacolors are colored pencils. You could use any brand, they don't have to be Prismacolor. And then you see the result. She's really precious. And she's still alive. She's in her 60s, still an activist, still talks to people. And like I said before, thanks to her, she made the world a better place. And I think that's really neat for any human being that can know, I came on this earth and I improved it. I made it a better place. And for me, that just makes me feel emotional to think about the people that are brave enough and willing to do that for the rest of us to make life better for everybody. So get your stuff together and we will draw the fantastic Ruby Bridges. Okay, so first note that my paper is going straight up and down where it's tall and skinny. And then we're going to take our finger and we're going to put it right in the middle of the paper and move it up just a little bit. And where your finger is now, you are going to draw kind of a wide U, where it's like a smile line, depending on how you want to look at it. Okay. Then on each side of that, we are going to draw a circle. Okay. Then inside the circle, I feel like this is a little bit out of focus. I'll try to get it a little better. On the top left, your left, we're going to put a little half circle. So now it looks like she's looking kind of up. And for her, it'd be to her right, our left. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to shade this in. Now later, when you're doing your Sharpie, when you're going over everything with your Sharpie, you would also color this in with your Sharpie. So the little half circle is going to stay white, and then the rest of the eyeball is shaded in. So it's kind of the opposite of what we do the majority of the time. Okay. Then on the edges, like here on the left, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 eyelashes. And then on the right, 1, 2, 3 eyelashes. Okay, now we're going to do the bottom of her head. It's going to be another kind of wide U just below her. All right. And then I'm going to come up here above her. I'm right in the middle. And I'm going to go up a little bit. And I'm going to make a teeny tiny little mark. You may not even be able to see it. That mark is just there for the person drawing, which of course is you, and on mine, it's me. And we're going to draw her hairline. Now Ruby has curly hair, so I'm going to do lines that are kind of like waves, and it kind of comes down to each end of the U, and that is her hairline along her forehead. Now, it looks a little funny right now, but just trust me, it'll come together. Next, we're going to draw her ears. I'm going to put a half circle here and a half circle here. Then we're going to do the top of her head. Now, this is going to be more, she still has curly hair, so I'm still doing the wavy lines, but I want to make the top of her head more rounded. I don't want her to look pointy like a cone head or anything. You guys probably don't even know what a cone head is. So now we have the top part of her hair. Next, she is wearing, from looking at pictures of her from back then in the 60s, it looked like she had her hair, she definitely had her hair pulled back, possibly in little pigtails. So that's how we're going to draw it. Starting on the left side, I'm going to draw a little circle, like the circle's just kind of sitting right on the side of her head. And then I'm going to have two lines coming up at an angle, and then a curve. And so there's a cute little bow on her left side. Now, I think technically, I was looking at pictures of her yesterday, and I think technically she only had one bow in her hair. It's kind of hard to tell, though, because there were some other pictures where it looked like there might be a bow on the other side, but I couldn't quite tell. But what we're going to do is we are going to give her little pigtails. So we're going to draw another bow over here, even though she may not have actually had one there. And then again, we cut a line. Curve lines, and I feel like I messed up this bow a little bit. I didn't have them at enough of an angle. I'll try to fix that. I'm sure yours is perfectly fine. Right, and when I color that and Sharpie that, I can clean it up a little more. Now for her little pigtails. Now in reality, she had her hair kind of pulled back behind her head where you wouldn't be able to see it. But that's not very fun to draw that way. So we're going to make just the little kind of poofy pigtails on each side. And we're going to put some little lines here. And so now she has her adorable little hairstyle. All right, so now we're going to begin drawing her body. So right out of the bottom of her head, I am going to draw two lines coming down. All right, now I was telling the in-person kid yesterday that it looks kind of funny because she looks like some kind of creature with little stick legs, but we will fix that, so don't worry. But first I'm going to come up here and I'm going to draw her neckline. Okay, and then she had on a cute little shirt that had these cute little collar on the side. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it was a little button-down shirt. Some little buttons. Okay, and then over her shirt she was wearing a little sweater, so I'm going to make an upside down triangle like that, and so that is her sweater over her shirt. Another little line here, and again some buttons, so she's like she had a little white cardigan on over her shirt. I'm not sure what color her shirt was because all the pictures are black and white. All right, so now I'm going to close off this line here. We're drawing a line across, and then I'm going to bring the lines down just an itsy bit more and connect it with another line, and that's like her little belt for her skirt, or maybe even just her waistline, meaning like, you know, where the shirt and the skirt meet. Now, for her skirt, we're going to draw two diagonal lines coming out, and we're going to draw kind of a wavy line. And if you want to draw some little lines here to kind of show the pleats in her skirt, you can. You don't have to, but you can. Oh, she's looking so adorable. All right, then right here in the middle, we're going to draw two little lines coming down. And again, it looks funny. It looks like we're giving her little stick legs, but we're going to fix that. I'm going to go to the left here, draw a line down, then go to the right and draw a line down. So now those are her two little legs. And we're going to give her little jelly bean shoes. And they're called jelly bean shoes because they look like jelly beans. And then the little ruffled socks. Because back then, little girls wear those cute little ruffled socks. Okay. Now, Ruby is needing some arms. So I'm going to come back up here. And I'm going to draw a diagonal line that comes down. And another one over here. Okay. Then I'm going to draw a curved line that comes in. Curved line that comes in. And then another diagonal line coming up. And that is the little sleeves for her sweater. Now I'm going to draw another little line here and here, because that's where the cuff of her sleeve kind of is going to stick out a little bit underneath her sweater. And that'll make more sense when we color it. And then little hands, just little kind of oval letter U hands. Oh, she looks so cute. All right, then we're going to give her a little book bag. So I'm just going to draw a little rectangle. Okay. I'm going to make a little triangle here, kind of like an envelope. That's the little flap that will open and close. And put a little button here. And then a little strap that looks like it's going through her hand. So it's almost like a little purse. Oh, and look at her. She is so cute. I just love her. Now, if you want to write her name on the bottom, you can. You don't have to. I like doing that because I feel like it helps honor her a little more. Because she really did. She was so brave. And literally sticking her neck out for us. So that the next generation can have a better life. She was only 6 years old when she did that. It's pretty amazing to think about. All right, and there she's drawn. So now the next step is to Sharpie her. So if you have a Sharpie, go ahead and grab that. If you only have a pen or a black pencil or black crayon, that's fine too. Okay, so now we're going to Sharpie over everything we just drew. Again, like I said just a second ago, you could also use a black pencil, a black pen, a Sharpie pen, a black crayon. The idea is just to make your lines more bold and more noticeable so that you don't lose them when you start coloring everything, because pencil tends to kind of just get drowned out from all of the coloring, especially if you're using markers. And the dark part of the eye, remember you would color that in with the Sharpie. Alright, so I am going to fast forward to finish my Sharpie. I'm also going to Sharpie her name if you wrote her name, but again, you didn't have to write her name. So I'm going to fast forward to finish the Sharpie. You can pause to finish your Sharpie, and then we will talk about coloring. Okay, so I finished Sharpieing, and I also did my erasing step where I erased any pencil you can still see. Be sure you don't skip that step because it just makes your picture look cleaner and nicer, and you're doing your best job on that. Now next we're going to color. I'm going to use my colored pencil. I have my little Prismacolors. You can use any color you want within reason. You do want to make her look somewhat like Ruby Bridges because we're doing this to honor Ruby Bridges and what she did for us. So don't change who she is. For example, one of my first graders yesterday, and I don't think this child knew any better, but they gave her purple skin. And Ruby Bridges obviously didn't have purple skin. Normally I encourage you to, get as creative as you want, but in this case, because we're honoring a very specific person from history, we don't want to do something like give them purple skin. So she had brown skin and black hair, so I'm getting out my different browns that I have, and I'm getting out my black pencil. So that way I have that for her skin, her hair. You can make her dress any color you want. From the pictures, it looked like her little cardigan was white, but there's no telling what color her dress was. I'm going to pretend her dress is kind of a bluish purple. So I'm getting now almost a pinkish purple. So I'm getting those colors out. I have my lavender, I have my violet blue, and this one's called mulberry. And then of course you have her shoes. I'm going to get her blue shoes. Like she has maybe blue suede shoes. And then of course the bows. I'll probably match her hair, her little book bag. Okay. So I am going to begin coloring her. And I'm going to fast forward. Again, if you prefer to use crayons or markers, or if you need to use a combination of different things, that's totally fine, okay? But I'm going to fast forward to color, and you can hit pause to color, and then we'll meet back here and wrap things up. Okay, and here she is, all colored. Just so you know, I did have to get my Sharpie back out and go over a few of the black lines again, because when I colored, it kind of covered them up and camouflaged them a little bit. So I went back over and traced over some of them to bring them back out. I also did a little bit of research while I was coloring, and as she was going in and out of the school, she was holding a lunchbox, not a book bag. So now I'm going to pretend this is kind of an old-fashioned lunchbox. But other than that, that's basically it. I think she looks adorable. I strongly encourage you to find the book, The Story of Ruby Bridges, and read the book. I was watching the video of the book while I was coloring this, and it was very, very moving. I was so impressed. So if you're not familiar with that, be sure you look that up. But other than that, thank you for watching and participating. And if you go to the Innovative Learning Academy, Elizabeth Smith, please use the art show form or email to send me a picture of your picture. All right. So thanks and have a great week.